We know that machine learning is divided into two main families: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. Clustering belongs to unsupervised learning family of machine learning, where we don't have labels or targets of the data. We have to group the data based upon the information that we already have, as we learned in the previous video. Whereas in classification, we have the liberty that in the data, we have labels, we have the target variables, so that in classification, our whole job is to decide if a particular data point belongs to which label. This is the thing. But in clustering, we have to group those data points in a way that the similar data points should be there in one cluster. So the second thing is goal of both of these algorithms. In clustering, we group the similar data into one cluster, and in classification, we assign each point to predefined classes or categories. The third thing is the output. In clustering, we output the group of the data. We have the data that don't have the labels, so we make their groups, and that is our output. Whereas in classification, we output label or the category of the given data point. So for example, we have a data point, we decide that this data point belongs to which category in classification. Next is the data that is required. We have already discussed. In clustering, the data is unlabeled. Targets are not available. In classification, the targets or labels are available with the data. If we talk about example use cases, in clustering, we can segment the customer's behaviors. We can segment each type of category who are buying a particular type of items versus the other category. Whereas in classification, we can decide if a particular email is spam or not spam. Next is algorithms. Obviously, these are two families of algorithms. So in clustering, we have algorithms like k-mean, DBSCAN, hierarchical clustering, Gaussian mixture models. And in classification, we have algorithms like decision trees, logistic regression, SVMs, and so on and so forth. Next is the number of groups. In clustering, we have to decide or define, sometimes in the beginning of algorithms, sometimes at the end of algorithms. We have to define how many number of clusters are there in the data. You might be saying that, hey, we don't have information of the target variable. How we can define the number of clusters? Well, that's a magic that you will learn by the end of this course. And in classification, we don't have to define the number of groups because that is predefined. You already have the you already have the target variables, right? So these are some differences between clustering and classification. What are the type of learning, the goal of learning, output, the data that is required, their use cases, the family of algorithms, and so on and so forth. So I hope you're able to understand how unsupervised learning or clustering is different than the supervised learning, which is classification. Whenever we go for the interviews, if I talk about my early career, whenever I used to go for the interview, this used to be the first question for machine learning. What is the difference between supervised learning and unsupervised learning? So this video should help you to answer that question.